All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tone Vays. We're gonna go straight to the charts. Everything is on mute. All right, what happened to my camera? Why is my Zoom showing me one thing, but on a live stream it's something else? This is crazy. It's like weird. So annoying too. I don't know why it's happening. Out of more tech issues as always. I need to get a bigger green screen. All right. So we are, this is my affiliate page. If you guys are looking for a VPN or you're going to subscribe to TradingView, though you do need a brand new account. Like if you had an old account and you then use my link, it does nothing. So you do need to open a new account for TradingView, probably for TorGuard as well. People have been asking, so I thought I'd throw it in there. All right, let's go to charts. BTC conference normally makes the top. Well, the top's already been in. Oh, wow. We just dropped some. Jeez. Okay. Well, this was expected. So far, everything has been playing out as expected. I think this Bitcoin conference is going to be a lot less attended than the prior ones. Just a feeling. Just that the tickets that are usually $1,000 are being shopped around for $100, and nobody actually wants them, even for $100. So I think the conference will be smaller. It'll still draw in, thousands of people, maybe like 5,000-6,000, but not like 15 to 20,000. I will not be there, guys. So I make it clear. I am off to Japan on Monday. I will be speaking here. This is a Web3 event in Japan. I'm actually just moderating, but hey, I'm in Japan. I've never been to Japan. Everyone is saying how awesome Japan is. I'm looking for a hotel in Tokyo, and I think the cheapest one is like $950, which is insane. But yeah, so I'll be in Tokyo for a few days, and then I'll be in Osaka, and I'm gonna go to Kyoto, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll go to Kobe. I really want to eat some good meat. Can't wait. And sushi, of course. Everyone loves Japan. I can't wait to see what all the hype's been about. First time in Japan. Looking forward to it. Unfortunate that it's during the conference, but it is what it is. Weekly chart. Weekly chart is coming up on support. The support on a weekly scale will be at 26,000, and we are already there. We are already at support. So we are at weekly support. However, the support is more like a range. All the way down to 25,000 is also support on a weekly scale. We've busted the Lucid SAR, which is bad, and we're flipping on the MRI count, which is not good, but not yet bad. So we wait and see what happens over the next 48 hours. No need to talk about that. Our allocation chart, maybe we should have taken a little bit more off the table, but it did fell a little fast. You know exactly where it broke down. I explained it all yesterday. I wish I did a video earlier yesterday, and I probably would have done it in real time. But I was just, I don't know. I don't know how I keep doing these videos every day. I may just start going to twice a week videos because it's actually not easy. It's really not easy to do this every day, especially when you don't get paid for it. It's really not easy to do it every day. Like people get up and do these videos every day because they make a lot of money from the videos. I don't make any money from the videos, so it's very, very challenging to keep doing this every single day. For most people, YouTube's a business, but not for me. I just do it because I like it. So we have very, very tough support. I'm not going to buy the dip. Had I dropped the position down to 50%, I would have bought the dip, but I did not drop the position to 50%. So we have no intention of buying the dip. We will just add back to the 100% off the bounce of the long-term moving average. However, if the long-term moving average is lost, I am dropping this position probably back to 40% or even lower if this long-term moving average is lost. I am putting all my entire bet on the fact that we will not go lower than $25,500. That is my line in the sand. If we break that, and with this candle is about to end, so I'm anticipating next candle to be a green candle. If that does not happen, this position might actually drop a lot. This position might actually drop all the way down to 40% or lower. Everything hinges on the long-term moving average. All right, real quick, on Vays.com, free learn trading section. If you do want to support this channel, check out the on-demand videos, which are fairly cheap, and for all your basic trading education. And then more advanced stuff is, of course, the MRI indicator. The Financial Summit is coming to the UAE November 5 to 10, unconfiscatable, which is our Bitcoin event. It's coming back to Las Vegas, same hotel. Everything's the same. We like consistency. And we are back with our shitcoin minimalist hats at the D Hotel, Las Vegas. I'm in Japan next week. If you want to meet up in Japan or a chance to meet up in Japan, find a way to reach out. Here's my projection on how we're going to go. This projection does take us below 25.5. It takes us down to 24.5, but it is a day chart, not a 4-day chart. We are coming up on an MRI buy. This would be a beautiful MRI buy that should reach us on Monday. So the day I am in the air, is the day we are likely to hit that MRI buy. There is this capitulation candle only because I grabbed it from this area back in May. I just grabbed the last area. That's probably not how it's going to play out. Trying to see if there is a better version. Something like this, maybe. Here's a little bit cleaner. Let me try this. If I grab these candles, I'll go to here. Let me grab this. Let me grab this area. This might be a little bit cleaner. I don't think we're going to go up all that fast anyway. Yeah, this could be a cleaner look at the MRI low. Something like this. Yeah, something like that. With this being Monday. Something like that. That looks a little more realistic. So one of these, and the low should be there on Sunday or Monday. Sunday or Monday should mark the low. This is weird because it uses the the candles with the wicks and not with the shadows, with the wicks, with the shadows, and not only the bodies. If you look at the bodies, this looks a lot cleaner of an MRI low than by using the wicks. Which one did I grab, actually? I think it's over here somewhere. Yeah, right here. Yeah, see this wig? If this wig didn't happen, if this was just a body, it would be more similar to how I think we're gonna play out. So I do have a lot of confidence that the 128-day moving average is gonna reverse us. That is probably my favorite moving average. It is the one that's most likely to identify support and resistance points in Bitcoin. The 128 simple moving average. Okay, let's move on because I actually do want to talk a little politics at the end of this. I'll warn you guys so you can just shut off. Here's the 4-hour chart waiting on the MRI to load. it's hard for me to like say anything without an MRI, especially in this environment. In this environment, there is nothing. There's absolutely nothing here that identifies support. I mean, maybe this line, which we almost hit, but I need an MRI. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. We might have bottomed. We might have bottomed. That's a 4-hour. On a 4-hour, we might have bottomed. That's good. That makes it less scary going into the weekend. We did start to rally this morning. We've now pulled back. That's likely because the S&P is probably down. The S&P is just on the brink. It's just on the edge. It's consolidating near this top, but it needs a breakout. It needs some good news. And, threatening to wipe Taiwan off the face of the earth is not, good news for the markets. I'm losing all faith in the United States. I mean, it really is idiocracy out there. It really is. Like, the more incompetent you are, the more likely you are to get a position in the government. I mean, it is that bad now. It's that bad. So Bitcoin is making new lows. The S&P is not making new lows. That's actually making me more bullish. That's making me more bullish that this is a short-term low. They will just wipe out the chip factory. That is completely silly. Honestly, if the United States fired a missile at Taiwan's chip factory, they would probably hit Bangkok. That's how much confidence I have in the US military. And if you are watching me and you are in the US military or was in the US military, you should be ashamed of yourself and never admit that you are or ever was in the US military. If the United States fires a missile at a chip factory in Taiwan, they may just hit Japan. Or maybe they'll hit, I don't know, Kazakhstan, if they knew where it was. That's how much confidence I have in the US military. All right. So this is bad for Bitcoin, but look, the S&P is doing really well. So I'm not too concerned, and I do think of this as a short-term low coming in. As of now. By the way, half the people that were there protesting on January 6th, I would actually rather have those people defending me than the current US military. I would actually replace the US military with the non-secret agents. Like, if you remove like the 10% of January 6th protesters that were FBI, CIA, and NSA and local enforcement, if you remove those people and actually replace the US military with the pro-Trump protesters on January 6th, I would prefer to be defended by that military as an American. And none of them brought their guns on January 6th either. Of course, they would be allowed to have their guns. So the weekly chart is also right on the brink of potential problems, but I really like that the moving averages are now rising. Gold is right at the all-time high, and I do think it's going to break out. We had a long discussion on the strategic oil reserve, and they siphoned off the most in a single week this year. So of all the time this entire year, we're in May now, this was the biggest percent drop. So if I put this in Excel and I do a percent change, or even the nominal change, obviously the percent change would rise because this is being depleted. This chart is starting to drop fast again, well, because they have an election to it. Oil prices are going down once again. So my best guess, they're siphoning off more oil. GBTC, no real comment, nothing's changing. So this is the candle I would not trade at all. The candle after an MRI buy, unless I'm trading it to the upside. If I was a short-term trader, I would have taken the bullish trade as we were trading above the doji candle. My stop loss right now would be somewhere over here. I don't think I would set my stop loss all the way down here on a 4-hour trade. So it would be below, noticeably below the low of this early morning candle. So this 4 to 8 a.m. candle going noticeably below that low would take me out of the bullish trade. I'm actually bullish right now. Let's go to the short-term S&P correlation chart. Let's flip this on a 5-minute scale, and let's put Bitcoin on a 5-minute scale. Oh, Bitcoin is on a 5-minute scale. Let's put S&P on a 5-minute scale. Let's line them up. You can see that the S&P has been dropping this whole time. We did not have a 10 a.m. reversal. Oh, we did, but it wasn't very good. And then we tried again at 10:30, and then we tried again at 11. And now I think the S&P has been down all day since the open. And even though I wouldn't trade it, I think the S&P is about to reverse. That is a big drop. That is a 30-point drop for the day. That's probably all she wrote for the S&P. So the S&P should be reversing here right now, and I believe Bitcoin will as well. The Bitcoin topped this morning at 10:15, a little bit later than the S&P. So I think they're both going to reverse here. So I would rather be bullish right now than bearish. Short term, very short term. On a daily scale, however, I do think we are going to go lower. And on a daily scale, I think we can get to 25.5. 25.5 is going to be a very critical area because that's where, unfortunately, because I did not drop more than 80% of my bullish position, I am forced to significantly reduce my position below 25.5. And 25.5 also happens to be the perfect area for Bitcoin to reverse. So I am fully ready for the possibility that I remove 40% of my position, and 3 seconds after I do that, the market literally goes like this. I am perfectly prepared for that, and I would just get back into my bullish position above all the moving averages. The point is that I've been in a long position since early on, and I sat through this bullish position. So as long as I have some bullish position, I'm okay with that. We can definitely have a reversal like this. In 2 candles, we go up, 40% in 2 candles. That can certainly happen again right off this moving average. Very, very possible. I think that's it. I think those are the charts. Talked about oil, talked about everything. All right, I got 15 minutes. Happy to discuss politics. Let's go. If you don't want to hear politics, time to go, guys. We can look at Google. I don't want to look at stocks today. We can look at Google, but that's it. I'm really pissed at these. Oh, whoa. Good earnings? No. What happened? What happened with Google? What was the news? Well, what was the Google news? How did Fox destroy itself? No, they fired Tucker. No one cares about Fox anymore. Google conference yesterday. Oh, they must have said something good. I don't know. I don't know. Google looks good. Google looks good. I'm not an Apple fan. Like you guys know I'm not a fan of Apple, and it's kind of crazy that Apple is at is like way closer to a new all-time high than Google is. I prefer Google. I mean, they both. The reason why I know it's weird. I just don't like Apple products. I hate their usability. I like Google products way better for usability, but Google products spy on U.S. citizens for the U.S. government. Apple to a lesser extent. Apple is less evil for the planet than Google. I just like Google products better. All right, so I already said what I wanted to say about. Okay, no. Okay, so I wanted to bring up one more thing. I watched that debate. What are my recent videos? I have another monitor. I don't want to recently watched. Oh yeah, history. Yesterday, I think I was like driving around a lot, so I watched this. I watched the debate, the debate between RFK and Alex Epstein. This is pretty recent. It was only a few years ago. It was right before COVID, so it was interesting how. So on October 21, 2019, they debated, and it's super interesting because they did debate climate stuff, but they were also talking about vaccines. Now, this is before the COVID vaccine. This is before the COVID panic. Like the COVID panic didn't even start till early 2020. So this is months before, COVID, and the talk of vaccines for COVID didn't even start till like a year later, till like the summer of 2020. So this is way before there were COVID vaccines. And Alex Epstein is like super pro-vaccine. And as a side debate that they had in the middle of the climate debate, and RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is very pro climate change and man are going to kill the world and let's arrest people that deny climate change guy, he is very anti-vaccine even before COVID. So that was really interesting. I wonder if Alex Epstein has changed his mind on vaccines because he's not a geologist, even though he's pro like fossil fuels. He's as he calls himself, a philosopher, but he's clearly a smart guy and did his research. And pre-COVID vaccine, he's pro-vaccine. I was also super pro-vaccine pre-COVID. Now I'm as much of an anti-vaxxer as you get on all vaccines. Like I changed my mind. Like I had 4 vaccines done in January of 2020. 4. I had 4 needles in my arm in January of 2020 because I was pro-vaccine. But then, after seeing what happens in 2020 and then 2021, I will never take another vaccine again. Like I don't care if the Black Death is happening and they made a vaccine for the Black Death. I will take my 50-50 chances outdoors or indoors. I don't care. And when I do eventually have kids, they're not going to get a single vaccine. Well, like I will take my chances with the kids. Not a single vaccine. So that's what happened to me in 2020 and 2021 with the disaster of trying to roll out the COVID vaccine. That industry has lost me and my generation. I do plan to reproduce for like forever, hopefully, not to ever take any vaccine ever. Like just take your chances. That's how much distrust I now have for the vaccine industry because of what they did in 2020 and 2021. And Trump had a lot to do with that. This is, partially Trump's fault, but not fully. But Trump didn't help matters. I am critical of Trump, even though I am a Trump supporter. I am critical of Trump. Polio is on its way back. Nope, don't care. Take my chances. I will take my chances. And my kids. I mean, that's how much distrust I now have for the vaccine industry. Now, had they properly navigated COVID, I would have more trust in the medical industry. But they literally did the complete opposite. And I've now lost all trust in the science of vaccines. All of it. And again, I'm the one that took 4 vaccines in early 2020. I've never had a flu shot. I was smart enough to know that the flu shot doesn't work. But it was always voluntary. I understood how the flu shot works, and that's why I never took it. And because I understood how the flu shot works, and I've never had the flu shot in my life, I knew that there's no such thing as a COVID vaccine. And the way they pushed it was just, I'll never forgive the medical industry as long as I live. That's it. They're like dead to me now. And now you start doing all this research. Did the polio vaccine actually fix polio? And did any of these vaccines actually fix the problem? And when you dig deep enough, you realize maybe these vaccines didn't do shit. Maybe all these viruses were already significantly on a decline, even like 6 months to a year before the vaccines even came out. If Trump is on the ballot going to the polls and the election is fair, there's a big asterisk there, right? Like the election has to be fair. There needs to be voter IDs. There needs to be no mail-in votes. The election needs to be fair. It needs to be paper ballots. Like, how do you make an election fair? Voter ID, paper ballots, no mail-in voting. That's it. In person, with an ID, on a sheet of paper. That's the only way to have a fair election. No blockchain, no nothing. Talk to Google. Maybe they'll design an Excel spreadsheet that will be more secure than, your voting blockchain. But you want to have a fair election? That's it. No mail-ins. You have to show up in person. If you're not in the country, well, then why do you care who's elected president? Come back here. Um, in person with identification on a sheet of paper. Triple counted by, by impartial people. That one's harder. And if Trump is on the ballot, he will win. Third party, fourth party, 28th party. If Trump's on the ballot, he will win. I don't think he's going to be on the ballot. She's not going to become president in 24, but maybe 28. U.S. citizens only. I'm going to change that to U.S. nationals only, but yeah. The vaccine for every disease comes along at a very convenient time when they all happen to have already started on the decline. It's just a magical coincidence. Again, I was all pro-vaccine until I started doing independent research. And what caused me to do this independent research is the handling of COVID. By the way, I would also increase requirements for voting. I would probably raise it to 21 years instead of 18. I would make it 21, and I would mandate a high school degree or equivalent. I would mandate a high school degree. High school in America is free. There's nothing stopping you from getting a degree. You can also learn to read, write, and do math on YouTube for free and go pass a competency exam for your high school GED diploma equivalent for free. So there is no excuse not to have a high school, proficiency. So if I was in charge of American voting, I would add that as well. I would raise the age to 21 just to give people extra time to get their high school equivalent degree. So voting age should be 21, not 18. Everyone's a communist at 18. I think forcing people to have assets is a little bit. I think that one's harder. I mean, that does require a financial requirement. Like I don't want to stop, poor people from voting, but considering it's free to get a high school equivalency diploma, it doesn't matter how poor you are. You should be able to have proof that you are at an educational level of a high school graduate. And for an American high school graduate, that's not a big bar to pass. Trust me. I don't think voting should be mandated, but I think voting should take place on a weekend or on a weekday as a national holiday, but not like a Monday or a Tuesday, like a Wednesday, like a national holiday on a Wednesday, so people can't say, hey, I get a 3-day weekend to go away, right? I think it should be a national holiday. I think most businesses need to be closed as much as possible, right? Like it shouldn't be like a 4th of July barbecue going on. It should be a national holiday. People shouldn't have to work. Schools can be open for kids, so parents can drop off the kids. School should be open. Schools should have voting machines. Parents can drop off their kids at school. They don't have to go to work, and they have the time to vote. You can create other incentives, give a little tax break for validation of voting. Like voting should be heavily encouraged. Yes, Fabio, voting happens on a business day in the US, correct. They encourage you not to vote. It happens on a work day, correct. It happens usually on a Tuesday. You're in the middle of the week, and schools are open, and you have to go to work. It's a full work day. Teachers don't get to vote. That's a great rule. In fact, I didn't mention that one. I agree. Teachers shouldn't get to vote. Most government employees shouldn't get to vote. Voting should be reserved for the private citizen, not a public employee. Like I don't think if you're working in a government, you should not be voting. But that's also a hard one, right? Like I don't want to stop every citizen from voting. That's also very hard to enforce, so it's not going to happen. Well, I agree. I don't want teachers voting. I wouldn't stop it. That's a little too dictatorial. But the other ones are legitimate for a fair election. You have to be somewhat intelligent, high school diploma or equivalent, and it has to be done fairly. Yeah, no, I wouldn't stop public employees from voting. I would like for them not to vote, but I wouldn't stop it. IQ-based voting is too controversial. Besides, high IQ doesn't necessarily lead to any street smarts. You got to remember that chart, right? There was a chart. Hold on, let me see if I can Google for it. It's called vaccine hesitancy. Vaccine hesitancy by education level. It's a really cool chart. Let me see if there's images of this. Yep. No, that's not it. Crap. I remember seeing these charts. Oh, man. Yeah, this is the problem with Google. Let me do a DuckDuckGo ain't much better. I really want to find that chart. I can describe to you what it looks like, but it won't be the same. Wow, Google is really not showing me this chart. Where do I go? Start page? Is this it? Oh, yeah, no, here it is. Found it. Boom. Check this out. Check this out. Vaccine hesitancy, right? So if you had a PhD, which, correlates to being super smart, like I don't even have a PhD, so it correlates to super smart, right? If you have a PhD, you had the highest vaccine hesitancy. Who had the next most vaccine hesitancy? High school diploma or less, and some college. So if you graduated college and even worse, had a master's degree, this is me. I'm right here. I'm in this area. And that's a professional. I mean, maybe I'm in this area. I don't know. I have a master's, and my master's was in a professional thing, not like a master's in philosophy or something, or master's in reading. So people that most bought into the vaccine bullshit of COVID were college graduates, especially those with a master's degree, and early professionals. And the ones that were most skeptical of the vaccine are the most smart people and the people that, didn't graduate high school or just graduated high school. I know this potentially contradicts me saying that I would like people to graduate high school before they vote or pass a GED exam, but I'm still sticking with that, right? But they were right on the vaccine issue. So I love this chart. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. So again, like creating an IQ requirement, you're gonna take out these people mostly. You're mostly gonna take out this class and this class, and now the majority of the people are a little brainwashed. So I don't actually want an IQ requirement, but I do want someone to know what 8 times 9 is, for example. All right, we'll hear your live chat. Dr. Asim Malhotra explains everything in the podcast with Joe Rogan. Yeah, I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I just don't know where to listen to Joe Rogan. I don't have Spotify. He's no longer on YouTube. I used to have like a podcasting app, but when he switched to Spotify, I mean, they got some kind of exclusive contract. I don't know. I just can't get into Joe Rogan. It's not easily accessible for me. Also, Joe Rogan interviewed way too many comedians and way too many like athletes and MMAs. And that I don't really care for those interviews. So that was the thing. I know Joe Rogan is an athlete and a comedian, and that's his interest. And for my taste, he was interviewing way too many of those people, and those interviews just weren't interesting to me. Spotify is free. It's not about free. I just don't have it and I don't use it. It's not about the money, even though I pay for way too many services. Is Spotify free? I didn't even actually know it was free. I think Lex Friedman can do more research before having certain people on his channel. Just saying. I've seen Lex Friedman interview way too many people that should have never had an interview. I just don't use it. I just don't use Spotify. I can't comment on something I don't use. I still like YouTube. I'll switch to Rumble eventually, but here's what I like about YouTube. I can download things and listen to them offline. I pay YouTube Premium. I have no ads on YouTube. I can watch YouTube with screen off. I download everything when I have a Wi-Fi. I usually have like 40, 50 downloaded YouTube videos in my account. And then wherever I am, I just turn on one of these downloaded videos. I don't have to watch it. I can keep my screen off and I listen to it on 2x speed. I'll check out Spotify. I actually had no idea it was free. I never used it. I never cared. I never cared for Spotify. Like I said, I used to listen to Joe Rogan podcast before he went to Spotify because on my app, I can show you on my phone what app it is. Maybe I can't. Where did it go? I just redid everything on my phone. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's called Podcast Addict. Yeah, the app is called Podcast Addict, and his shows used to be on there. And then when he went to Spotify, his shows got off the podcasting app, so I just stopped listening, and I never bothered to look into Spotify. It really is that simple. Like the day Rumble gives me these features, I'll pay for Rumble. I'll pay for ad free on Rumble. I will if but I want the ability to download a video and watch it at 2x at my own pace with screen off in the app, so that I'm not like wasting battery life. And I can use other apps as well. Like $10 a month for YouTube is the best $10 a month I spent. $19.79. Is that a patent number? Is that the patent guy, the Assam guy? I heard him. Like he had really good stuff to say. Yeah, the clips can be found on YouTube. I know. I've seen a bunch of those. I don't use much Rumble. Like, how can I be ignorant about something I just don't use? I like what Rumble stands for. One day YouTube's gonna die and everyone's gonna be on Rumble, which is great. And if I move to Rumble, like 80% of you will not be watching my streams. So I'm on YouTube. Come on, let's be honest. If I stopped YouTube and I went to Rumble, how many of you would no longer watch my videos? And the answer is almost all of you. Almost all of you. Which is why I need to stream to both YouTube and Rumble. Eventually, I'll get banned off YouTube like Joe Saz was, and then move to Rumble. All right. I'm going to get going. I think we talked enough. It's good to know you can. I actually I don't even have the Rumble app. I should download the Rumble app on my phone. I have a new phone. As it was, I have an account on Rumble. I never posted anything there. I am in Japan until early June. I'm in Japan for like 20, like 18 days. Let's see, Bitcoin reversed. Not yet. Came close to my line right there. Starting to give up on my reversal idea. Renting or mortgage tone? Rent. I think Bitcoin's about to go up. When Bitcoin's breaking 100K, diversify into real estate. Oh, another hyperwave video. Oh man, we gotta. Yeah, I still have to release Consensio. We're doing it this summer for sure. I don't expect hyperinflation next year. I don't. The only way I see hyperinflation is if, let's say, there was a really botched election. I don't think Trump's going to be on the ballot, guys. I don't think Trump's going to be on the ballot. I don't know who's going to be on the ballot. I don't think Trump's going to be on the ballot. I don't think Biden's going to be on the ballot either. I don't think Trump or Biden's going to be on the ballot. What's a good tequila for 40, 50 bucks? I should open the tequila spreadsheet. It really depends if you like Blanco or Añejo. Like, do you want an aged tequila or a Blanco tequila? We'll talk tequila next time. Kennedy's going to be on the ballot. I hope. I think Kennedy's good. I don't like his climate change views, but I think he's good. He's more good than bad. Kennedy is by far the best candidate in the Democratic Party. Everyone else is a communist. At least he's not a communist. AOC is a communist. Elizabeth Warren's a communist. Almost all of them are communists. Kennedy's deal is like one of the very few that's actually not a communist. If you have anything to do with the World Economic Forum, you are a communist. You are a Marxist. I should say Marxist. I shouldn't say communist. AOC is a Marxist. Anyone that believes in the World Economic Forum is a Marxist. Klaus Schwab is the reincarnation of Karl Marx. Anyone who buys into his bullshit is brainwashed into Marxism. It's that simple. The only non-Marxist Democrat that I'm aware of is Kennedy. That's it. There may be others. I'm not very familiar with their work. But all the other Democrats with whose work I am familiar with, they are Marxists. They will not let AOC run for president. They know she's crazy. Like, at least Biden doesn't make his own decisions. They make the decisions for him. But AOC is going to make her own decisions. I don't think I don't think we're gonna hit the 200-week moving average. I think that's way too low at the moment. Oh, sorry, that's the 200-week moving average. Yeah, of course, we're paying attention to it right now. Sorry, that's the 50. We're paying attention to it right now. It's support. Bitcoin pumping on 5-minute chart. Wow, really? Oh, just 5-minute chart. I don't know if that matters. Yeah, it's looking good. There's my line. We avoided that line. I do think Bitcoin's going to go up the rest of the day. That's my view. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you all on the next one.